Hey, what's up, everybody? Hitman BK here. We have got one. Look, you saw the title, so you clicked on it, and look, I can see you rolling your eyes. I haven't done Diablo stuff actually since we started, but I was impressed with the developer inside video that was 2 hours long today, and I thought it was well worth making a video on. I thought it was worth me kind of coming in and explaining why I was impressed. I'll kind of do that as we go through the notes here. I think they covered a large breadth of content. There's more stuff coming in the 10th. Today was really going over, I think, a lot of things like in general that I was missing out on, that some community members who I know who play it were missing out on. And they fundamentally just kind of addressed those issues. And I thought it was well done. I will be the first to say I loved Diablo 4's experience from 0 to 70. I thought the campaign was great. I had a really good time with friends, and I was kind of in that camp that left after the 70 to 100 grind because I didn't think that felt very good, and I didn't think the season of Malignant was as good as it could have been, and it didn't. And since that 70 to 100 problem was still there, I didn't invest too much in season 1, but I am fully going to jump in season 2, and I think if I'm going to do that, it's worth me taking some time to make a video about it. So sit back, relax, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. We're going to hit 1,000, y'all, this month. It's going to happen. Come join the Filthy Casual Discord and come hang out with us. We play all sorts of stuff, and let's get into it. Okay, dokie. I have things up. So right off the bat, y'all, right here, this is the developer live stream recap. I'm going to pull the live stream up too for some of this because I think they show off some good stuff. But this breakdown that they posted not too long ago from this essentially just says that from a fresh from a packed developer update live stream, the team provided an overview of the Season of the Blood as well as QoL updates. For a quick top level preview, we're adding more in-game activities, significantly increasing experience gains to reduce the journey to level 100 and increasing the ability to specifically target uniques and uber uniques. If that doesn't already kind of address exactly like why I was saying we left and what they're already doing to pique my interest, that is the sentence on why I'm making this video. The Associate Director of Community, Adam Fletcher, sat down with members of the development team to siphon the upcoming Season of the Blood patch. It's going to arrive October 17th. There's a ton of information they're sharing. So they're going to have 2 campfire chats, essentially. This one was class balance, unique items, sweeping changes to resistances, and a great deal of other quality of life updates and bugs fixes. Visit this article on October 10th for more information. I'm sorry, that's the one they're following up on, y'all. I should have read that first sentence. The next campfire chat will talk about those things. In Season of the Blood, players will have to harness the power of the vampiric scourge to successfully defend themselves from the originators, including the Bloodseekers that shadow your every move. And if you'd like more details on upcoming Season of Blood, visit this article. So this is it. This is the breakdown, and there are some stuff in the video I think that's worth showing. So right off the bat, one of the big things they did, and we're going to pull the video up for this too, is they're bringing in 5 new in-game bosses. So there'll be 5 new in-game bosses that have been added across Sanctuary to increase the variety of in-game experience offered, providing better opportunities to obtain specific Uber and Uber uniques. So this is where this target farming comes in that I think was a really smart move on their part. The new boss fights that are unlocked based on succeeding in different tasks across Sanctuary, with different resources required for facing each boss, and each new fight becoming available as you progress through World Tiers 3 and 4. So it's already kind of progressing how you play the game and how you interact with these tiers. So I want to pull that up for you right now. In this video, this was the OG setup, y'all. This was the original setup. I'm going to quickly hide myself here so you guys can see the full thing. Right there it says World Bosses and Legion events on the right hand side. That was part of the 71 to 100 experience, which they say right at the 50 to 70. So on launch, this is what things looked like, and this 1 to 70 felt pretty good. We had World Tiers 1 to 2. You had the campaign, the renown, the events, the zone exploration, Statues of Lilith, side quest, Whisper, season journey, capstone dungeon, and that brought you into World Tier 3 where you had nightmare sigils, nightmare dungeons, capstone dungeon, Helltide. I have a fly in my face. It's killing me. Tier 3 Helltides and all of these things that you were interacting with to find gear and stuff like that. And then you got into the 70s and you got into World Tier 4, and it was just literally Nightmare Dungeons. It was Echo of Lilith, and it was just more of the same with Helltides, and it did not feel good. Well, this is what they're doing with these bosses, and this is how they're changing it. So you're still going to have in the season the same 1 through 50, because honestly, that already felt good. But once you hit 50 to 70, you're actually going to have a farmable Echoes of Vershan boss fight. That's you're going to be able to farm. You're going to target farm that for uniques. You're also going to have Grigori, the Galvagant Saint boss fight, and tied into the new World Tier 3 setup, which is Whispers, Nightmare Sigils, Nightmare Tiers 1 to 20, the Helltide, the World Boss Legion events, which are all things that were right in the previous one. And then once you hit World Tier 4, you now will have Nightmare Dungeons like we did, Whispers, into Echoes of Vershan, a harder version, into the Beast in the Ice, Helltides that can go to Grigori, the Galvagant Saint, so which you did have in the 50 to 70, right? Because it's tied to the Helltides, but harder versions of that. A boss that leads from the Nightmare Dungeons, Durrell, the King of Maggots, which both the Whispers and the Helltide and these two boss fights will lead to. The World Boss, the Legion events, Lord Zir, who is the main bad guy, I believe, of the event, and the Echoes of Lilith. So they're already, it's not a lot. I'm going to say right now, this isn't going to fix things because this is still a very big circle, but it's at least significantly more fleshed out than it was previously. And as they go on to say from this, the reward pool for these in-game bosses has also been improved. Each boss will drop specific uniques exclusive to each individual boss fight. For example, the Durrell boss has significantly increased the chance to drop uber uniques, making the process of accessing those coveted items more achievable. So these are farmable things we can do now, which in my opinion greatly increases the replayability of Diablo, because like the point of ARPGs and all of these loot-based system games is to get the things. And if you can't find a path to get the things, it doesn't feel good and you don't want to do it anymore, right? And each individual boss has a chance to drop unique cosmetic specific to each boss, making the access to specific cosmetics in-game more targeted. All of this targeted things feels good. I think I said this in a tweet once, that are not looters just essentially beat the campaign to do the thing, to get the thing, to farm the thing, to get a better thing, and then to upgrade that thing. And I think that's where Diablo's in-game really messed up, is it was like, do the campaign to get the thing, and do nothing with it. And then you can't figure out how to get any more of the things unless you just do grind one thing and hope for a chance. And even in that aspect, hope for a chance that may not even give you what you want. So this is already, I think, a great change to this. In-game activities. The time between Legion events has also been reduced from 30 to 25 minutes. Warning timers have been increased from 5 to 10 minutes. They fixed an issue where the Legion events pin would not display. So they fixed an issue there. World boss fights, y'all, have gone from 6 hours to 3 hours and 30 minutes with a timer letting you know within the hour when it's coming out. That is huge. That's a ginormous change for people who wanted to get a part of world bosses and not have to like be up at midnight or 6 a.m. Golden experience rewards has been increased from Helltide caches, caching in Grim Favors, completing individual Whispers, which is great to see. Improved readability. Helltide chests now have specific icons on the map to indicate their type. This was big for me. I honestly couldn't stand going into Helltides because I wanted to farm the uniques like arms, and having to go to every single armor chest and guess if it was arms and it turned out to be chest or feet drove me nuts. So the fact that you're now going to be able to see that, I think, is absolutely incredible. To ensure enemies constantly give experience relative to the current player level, Nightmare Sigils rewarded from Whisper caches will now always be within 5 levels of the highest Nightmare dungeon the player has accomplished, and Whisper caches adhere to the item slot of the cache. This is, again, ginormous QL things that I think will really help the life of the game. And I know you're saying it should have been in there when it started. It wasn't, but it's coming in now. So I think, yeah, I honestly think this season is worth jumping into. Experience and monster leveling. They have decreased the time to reach 100 by 40%. 40%. Y'all, 40% faster. That's yes, the experience gained from killing monsters at level 50 plus is significantly increased to the rises steadily as you level. So this shouldn't feel as bad now. That 70 to 100 should actually feel kind of fun. You've got those boss levels now in there. You've got a faster leveling to 100. You've got targeted drops, and then you've got a chance to earn uber uniques. This is all sounding to me like a much more fleshed out in game to progress forward into the upcoming seasons too. So that's really great. Prevent monsters from being less powerful as the character level increases by making monster tiers world 3 and 4 match the current player level at a minimum after levels 55 and 75 respectively. This increases the overall experience of leveling, making it much smoother. Incesses now grant a bonus to experience and persist after death, and increase the potency of experience bonuses, making them multiplicative with the world tier bonus. Great changes right there. For nightmare dungeons, they've expedited demon slaying process, right? And the nightmare sigils will now directly teleport you inside the nightmare dungeon. I thought that was a really good good change. They've avoided some players not getting nightmare sigils from dungeons that have no final boss. So nightmare sigils are now rewarded upon completing a nightmare dungeon instead of a final boss. They have changed objectives. They've removed some from the dungeons so that if you wanted to only defeat the boss, you can do that. Essentially, only defeating the boss is needed to defeat the nightmare dungeon. So you can beeline it to the boss now, basically is what's happening there. They've multiple nightmare dungeon afflictions have been updated. They wanted to set this up so that you didn't look at an affliction and immediately burn it. They wanted to make it so that every affliction causes a fun challenge and experience that you want to interact with. And these changes included to backstabbers, close monster attacks from behind you, cause you to become vulnerable, and vulnerable damage taken is increased by X%. The monster critical resist. Monster attacks reduce the damage of your critical strikes by 3 seconds by X%, stacking up to Y%. There's a lot of math in that. Death Pulse they prevent death pulses on monsters that have explosions on death. They prevented death pulses from spawning repeatedly on top of each other. Lightning Storm, which is an annoying one. Being shocked while in the protection dome will grant you a 35% bonus movement speed for 5 seconds. It starts only when the players are in combat. Drifting Shade that reduced the duration from 5 to 3 seconds, and the respawn time has increased by 2 seconds. They reduced backtracking by placing dungeon objectives on the critical path. Layouts have been redesigned. Overall readability of traps, enhancing their visual effects and reducing their crowd control. End caps have been added to ensure dungeon layouts don't feel too linear, and a Paragon glyph experience has been increased. Events. They made dungeon events more worthwhile, enticing players to do them, and NPCs should no longer be killed with a one hit in World Tiers 3 and 4. Their item adjustments have been pretty nice too in this update. They're significantly freed up inventory space in Season 2 by making gems a craftable material now. So gems will now be craftable, meaning they will not take up space in your inventory any longer. Prevented players from losing their progress on a hardcore character from connectivity issues. My hardcore folks, you now will not lose that progress. Scrolls of escape are now consumed if a hardcore player disconnects while in combat, teleporting you to a safe location. So you will be safe from a disconnect with your scrolls of escape. Reduce the chance of being locked into certain stats on a legendary item by reducing their overall enchanting costs, and reduce the overburdening inventories and causing unnecessary trips into town, which is great. Normal Whisper caches rewards will now provide plus 10 item power. Upgrade caches now provide plus 20, and Helltide cache rewards now provide rewards of plus 20 item power value. So these are all, honestly, this is just all bumps, right? These are all incredible quality of life updates to enhance the experience and to really address the complaints I think they were hearing across the board from everyone in this game. Miscellaneous improvements. They've reduced the time spent having to regain renown. So all of your earned renown is now going to persist between seasons and your characters. Your earned skill points, potion capacity, max obels, and paragon points earned from renown will persist between each character. So you will not have to refarm that. You will have it when you start a new character in the season. You can start Season 2, create a new character, and all of that will just go ahead and carry over. There's some essentially how this works right here, which is basically what I said, right? So for example, character 1 earns renown tier 2 in a region, gains 1 skill point and 1 potion capacity. Creates character 2, earns renown tier 1 in a different region, gains 1 skill point. This is, needless to say, it just carries over. So you guys don't have to, you're not forced to refarm anything you don't want to. They've added 2 new character slots. They've eased the ability for players that haven't completed the campaign to access seasonal content earlier. So if you're one of those people who haven't completed the campaign, you only need to have completed the prologue to now skip the campaign when you start a new season. They've improved the horse riding experience. It's essentially been faster. It's been 15% faster. You can remove the need for players to place their cursor on the edge of their window for max speed. Excuse me. Improved combat and mount versatility by reducing ability cooldowns by 50%. You can manual dismount cooldown has been reduced from 10 to 5. Your forced dismount from damage cooldown has been reduced 10 to 4, and the delay between a dismount combat and a skill becoming available has been reduced 10 to 3. So they really again streamline that so it doesn't feel bad to use, which is crazy that we had to do that in the first place. There have been town adjustments to additional, which is our additional stashes, reduce the need to travel to capital cities by adding stashes to small towns, reduce the need to travel to capital cities by adding a cultist to the Tree of Whispers waypoint. They reduce the need for additional walking. The Purveyor of Curiosity has set up shop closer to the waypoint in several cities. Kopashad, you guys are going to know this if you know like how hard it is to find this man in these places. Improved navigation through Sanctuary following character creation by adding 10 waypoints. There are 2 waypoints in each region, and note that players that choose to skip the campaign and haven't unlocked these 10 waypoints on any character, they will not automatically be available. But if you have, when you start a new character, there will be these 10 waypoints available for you. UI and UX changes. They've improved sorting and overall organization into Stash, and you can use a search function now in Stash. They've organized the displaying item affixes tooltips to be more intuitive. The improved organization by grouping extracted aspects within the same legendary powers together. So when you're sorting your Stash and inventory, you understand what you're looking at. They've added an option for hiding all combat text, improved unique item visibility, access to screen reader, and cursor contrast colors. And this is just the top of the list things that they were mentioning in this that are really big, outside of the Season of the Blood, which sounds really cool. The Season of the Blood is going to feature a bunch of vampire powers. These are some examples right here, which look really cool. My favorite one, though, they're showing right here. I thought this was great. These powers actually fundamentally change things. In this power, you can dash ahead, form all of these bats. Anybody you kill, you suck up their souls. And when you suck up enough souls, you can fire those souls out into like a torpedo, which you see right there, which is really freaking cool. And the way these vampire powers look on screen as you earn them is actually pretty neat too. It's a system right here. It's a whole UI. This man is burning all of these poor vampires right now. And we'll go into the UI. So you can see all the vampire powers. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm in the way. You can see all the vampire powers right here, and you slot these into your vampiric little segment here. And this is, you're going to spend potent blood to unlock these abilities. And there are quite a few. I can't remember exactly how much they said, but they're pretty fundamental changes, and their whole intent was to make it so that any build could utilize these to grow in power and really do something pretty cool. And there's going to be 3 new characters. There'll be a new campaign tied around it, the new bosses like we talked about, obviously new items, and a new sort of Helltide mode that looks pretty cool. That's going to pop up as well with the Helltides. It's called, I wonder if I can pull that up. This is their overview. There's so much to cover, and I'm sure there's a million people doing all of this stuff. My biggest thing we just covered, but I thought it'd be cool just to show y'all. This is a cool segment as well. There are new enemies. They're adding a bunch of new vampire enemies into the game, and they were showing those off. This is a new vampire. This is a new vampire enemy, and these guys are all have their different move sets, and this is the main bad right here, this little ominous dude. I mean, this just looks cool. I'm a sucker for vampires, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's part of the reason also why I might be excited, because I am a huge sucker for vampires. It's gonna be called Blood Harvest. That's what it says, and this is what it looks like. These blood harvests will happen throughout the map, and you will be able to go into these and farm the materials you need to get new powers, upgrade those powers, and all of that kind of fun stuff. There's just a lot. There's a whole layered system here. I will probably make, depending on how this video does and what y'all want, you can sound off in the comments. I can make a video kind of going over Season of the Blood and what they're adding there. But really for this, I wanted to just show y'all the high level stuff that was coming and why I'm excited and why I'm coming back. And the big reason is the revamp to the essentially 51 to 100 experience, the targeted uniques, the ability to get a farm uber uniques, and the overall changes to how nightmare dungeons function, experience functions, and the whole feel of that back-end systems that did not feel good on paper right now sound like they are going to feel really good. So I'm excited to jump into this October 17th. If this does well and you guys want it, let me know, sound off in the comments, and I will make another one. discussing why I am excited for the vampire powers and vampire nonsense that will be season 2. I am Hitman BK. Thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate every single one of you. I hear my kids screaming. I need to go hang out with them. I got to be a good dad. You know what I'm saying? All right. Later, y'all.